Gospel Sports Truths Podcast. I'm your host, Zay, along with my guys, Young Vander and King Ron, bringing you the truth unapologetically as we see it. Today's show is all about the money. We'll take a deep look at the updated NFL salary cap, the fallout from those behind the power curve. Make sure that you're following us on YouTube at The Gospel STP. And we'll be on all major podcasting platforms as well. If you need to get any information to us, email us at thegospelstp@gmail.com. Let's go right ahead and hop into it. If we have any audio issues, I'm giving you a heads up ahead of time. Vander's on remote, so he's hopping in and getting it done while taking care of other business and all that kind of good stuff. So welcome back this week, Young Vander. I know the people missed you. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen by now the video of the Cam Newton camp incident. I don't know how it is that I think this is like maybe his second or third incident at a camp where people just not necessarily attacked him like they did in this one, but it's like somebody's always disrespecting or acting as if they're doing him a favor by showing up to his camp. And it's just interesting to me. I don't know if it's something that he says to other people or just a vibe that he gives off that people think that it's okay to come at him a certain way. But yeah, that's probably a mistake that that particular group of people and most other people won't make again. But what did you guys think about that situation? And what do you think Cam is doing to provoke these incidents? Or is it something that he's doing, I guess?
Well, for me, the thing that he's doing to provoke it is showing up.
Okay.
It's the inner city. You know what I'm saying? These type of people and kids. And once you have somebody of Cam's status, from those same walks of life, once they come back down, it's not always welcome with a open arms and a hug. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who does this dude think he this? He think he that? That's the kind of vibe I get from it. And this is mixed with competition. So you got football
right
competition, mixed with, a little bit of jealousy, I think, envy for a guy like Cam, you know what I'm saying? And then because now when people want to attack, there was a video that came out prior. One of the coaches was saying, oh, he's supposed to be Atlanta savior, hero. He can't, he not even accurate. You're trying to attack him as a player himself. So when you start talking things like that, and you never been in the league, number one, I've been in the league, I've been in the league, and you work a 9 to 5 or whatever you do, and you attacking me about how I play. So when you already got that kind of thing mixed with, you know what I'm saying, with the heat of competition, then this is going to be the end result.
I think it's a lot of the piggyback off that. It's a lot of jealousy in that. Like Barry alluded to the video that he put up before when I saw it, he was like, "Oh, you think y'all not a hero? He not like that. He can't beat me." I'm like, and immediately I took it as there had to be like a fight or argument thing because I know he wasn't talking about like the actual football, like because we don't even have to have a discussion about that, or unless he was talking about Cam coaching the team and he was, but. And they did an interview, like the two coaches did like an interview like the next day. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you didn't see Cam talking junk or whatever." I'm like, bro, if you ever watched Cam Newton play football, like that's what he does. Like,
he did,
so,
right.
So you mean to tell me you couldn't take that? But they said he grabbed one of the guys who were like smaller. That's in the video. And you see the other guy came and punched him. He was like, that's a result of him grabbing. He basically said Cam grabbed the other dude first. That's why he jumped in or whatever. I'm interested to see what Cam's podcast, what his response is. But like it was just like I think it was trash talk that they couldn't take it. I don't see Cam as a person that's gonna like grab somebody because I look back to when him and Kelvin Benjamin had a little spat where he just like, I just want to talk to you, bro. Like we ain't gotta do all this. Let me talk to you type thing. So I think it was probably that they couldn't take it. Like Barry said, they make a name for themselves. Jealousy, all of that. Like, but they're learning about running up. Like, you haven't watched this guy dodge 6'6", 300-pound people trying to tackle him, and that's what you think you're gonna try to do. So yeah, so to me it was disgrace on their part. I couldn't even watch all the interview. I turned it off once they were talking because Cam is being Cam. If you can't take that, you shouldn't be at the camp.
Absolutely. You should know who it is that you're aligning yourself with, and know what you're able to stomach before you decide that that's the move that you're going to make. I kind of feel like they were asking Cam to be someone other than himself and then being upset with him for being him. That dog don't hunt. So yeah. Now, something that was something that I found out today from Barry actually that was as surprising. The Vikings are possibly looking at going with Sam Darnold to replace Kirk Cousins if they can't figure out the contract situation with Kirk Cousins. Now, along with that, right now, what's going on is Justin Jefferson is looking at basically attempting to make quarterback money. And that's going to put them in a scenario where they may not be able to pay some of the other upper echelons. And namely, you can't pay two quarterbacks on the same team. He's trying to get quarterback money. So that may be what causes them to go a different directions as far as Cousins is concerned. But Justin Jefferson also put it out there that whether or not he signs an extension may be predicated upon the quarterback situation. So I don't know how this is going to go for the Vikings on either front. Ron, why don't you go ahead and start us out with that one?
You're back now. You was froze for a minute for me.
I think you're back.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us your opinion on that Viking situation.
Yeah, I mean, we touched based on this a little bit last week, and a saying that I like to say a lot when I see teams make moves that I don't think they should make moves. It was like it's the Vikings; they're gonna remain the Vikings. Like if you get rid of Kirk Cousins, like if you get rid of Kirk Cousins, I don't see Sam Darnold being a way to telling Justin Jefferson if you resign him back, hey, listen, we're moving in the right direction. Just hold tight. You know, we got a replacement for him. Like I don't see that happening anyway. So if you're gonna get rid of Kirk Cousins, my thing is to try the best thing to sign and trade at the draft, or you know, trading with somebody who's gonna get and get one of the younger guys like Sam Darnold. No disrespect, like Sam Darnold, I think he would perform well in Shanahan's system because of the actual system. I think once you take him out of the system, we've already seen what that looks like. Even if you don't want to count him with the Jets, with the Panthers, you know, he had some roller coaster time there. I just don't think that's it. You're gonna frustrate the guy. I mean, of course, if you pay Justin Jefferson what he want, you got it. It's like, oh well, we got you in the building. What you gonna do anyway, type thing. But you don't want him disgruntled. You don't want to stunt the growth of Jordan Addison. I don't think Sam Darnold is the move for that. Like, if they're gonna get rid of Kurt, or rather than try to trade to one of those guys that's in the mid first round or late first round or whatever, grab somebody like Michael Penix. I don't even care if it's Bo Nix. I'm not a big Bo Nix fan, but I'd rather him better than Sam Darnold. You know who you know what you're getting with that. So you know, if they're going with Sam Darnold, if those reports coming out, you could probably see the writing on the wall of what Kirk Cousins is. I just don't think Sam Darnold is the way to go with that.
What you got on that, Vander?
Well, you know, my thing is, you know, two things can be true. And in this situation, that's what it is. Donald will come in and be a bridge. So they probably will also draft the younger quarterback in this draft. Or they go with Penix, Bo Nix. You got that boy Rattler who's moving up boards. Yeah. So even if they do draft the quarterback of the future, Darnold is looked at more of a bridge. So I wouldn't look at this as more of a Darnold's going to be the guy. He's just going to come in maybe for that year until the other guy, to the younger guys may be ready. You know what I mean? So especially where they're picking that, I don't think they're going to feel like they're going to grab the top three guys who are probably going to be day one starters. So the guy they're going to grab probably be a guy that's going to have to, you know, let him mature a little bit. So It's a bridge move. So I'm not really mad at it if it's a bridge move. I'm not really mad.
I can see that. That's a little bit easier to stomach than thinking that Sam Darnold's going to be the man. Now this one I'm still befuddled over because Sean Payton just can't stop talking trash about Russell Wilson, and at this point, it feels like it's beyond football. Like at some point, like okay, if you're gonna let bygones be bygones, you're gonna move on from them, you're gonna go ahead and get whoever you're gonna get in the offseason, whatever the case may be. Cool, do your thing, but why is it that Sean Payton just can't let it go? Like why is like he knew who the quarterback was when he came to this team. So what's going on with this situation? I'm not exactly sure how to take what's going on in public at that. What you got on that, Bear?
It's simple. Winning cures all. They're not winning games. So you're not happy. I mean, that's clearly what it is. I mean, if they were winning games, if they was the AFC champions or something like that, we wouldn't hear none of these things. So being that they're not winning games, then it's going to be talk.
Okay. Same page, Ron?
Already has a.
What do you say there?
Yeah, I mean, he said
so you're on the same page. Winning is a cure all, or is it deeper than that?
No, I think it's a tad bit a little deeper. But if winning cures all in the AFC West, he's gonna be mad for a long time. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I don't care who you bring in it, but he's gonna be mad for a very long time if winning cures all out of that spot. But maybe they actually didn't do that bad. But I kind of felt like this was gonna be a rocky or tumultuous relationship when the season first started, when he cut out all Russell extra stuff that the past coach gave him. Like, you're not getting a parking spot, you're not getting your own like room, which I don't have a problem with, because he's kind of like old school. He was like, nah, you're not getting no preferential super treatment like you got prior. Like, if you want to play football, play football. And he even said that in like a press conference earlier in the season. He was like, oh, we're here to play football. We're not here to do none of that other stuff type thing. And it was directed at Russell. So I kind of felt like that kind of irritated him from the beginning, because maybe he felt like, well, you don't even have the team approach first. You got the me approach first. So I think it already started off rocky. So, and it also comes into when, like new GMs and new coaches come, like a lot of people, when they come in, it was like, oh, but I like him. They're like, that's not his guy. He didn't handpick him. He didn't trade for him. He didn't do anything. Like, maybe he want his own guy in there or whatever. So I think it's a mixture of everything. But if winning cures all, they're gonna be mad for a long time.
We got a few guys that don't look to be going like Russell Wilson will be. Michael Pittman is likely to stay in Indy one way or another, whether they franchise tag him or whether or not the long-term deal that they're attempting to work out right now ends up working out. Same thing with Devontae Adams of the Raiders. There was a little bit of scuttlebutt out there that Devontae Adams could possibly find himself being a new Jet, pairing back up with Aaron Rodgers. But Antonio Pierce is essentially saying we don't care about the fanfare or how nice the story would be. That's our guy, and we keeping him, which you can't be mad at him about that. Jalen Johnson, the DB, the Pro Bowler for the Bears, they're working on an extension for him to make sure that he and the guy that they traded for, Josh Sweat, who they are paying, are going to be a 1-2 tandem. Your pass rush and your secondary is going to be there long term. So any of these moves surprise you at all, or is it par for the course?
Nah, I expected everybody to stay put. I mean, out of the guy that you named, now the guy from Chicago, I did thought it was possible he could get out the door, but being that they do have the cap space, he is needed. So nah, I felt like everybody that you mentioned will be in the same teams.
I think that's a big part of the reason why, that they kind of have to go the rookie route as far as quarterback is concerned, because there are a few guys that they actually have that are uber talented that they can go ahead and sign long term because of the contract that rookie quarterback would be on. But everything looking about like it's supposed to for you, Ron, or is it a couple of guys that surprised you as far as the ones we just brought up?
Not about the same sentiments as Barry. I kind of felt like Jalen Johnson to me played probably the best corner in football, maybe the second best. So and only thing I thought is maybe somebody was going to throw him a bag because of that, and like he had a chance to get out of the door, but I don't think Chicago's going to let him leave. Michael Pittman, a little bit. It was some rumors that that they may tag and trade him because of his demand, like what they actually want to offer him. He wants like not top tier wide receiver money, but somewhere near that. And the coach think that I don't think you earn that money type yet. So they want to kind of like try to negotiate with that. So I thought maybe if they let him test the water, somebody be like, hey, no, we see your potential. We'll throw the bread at you. And here, go do that. But him and T. Higgins were like the first two people that I've heard that was going to be tagged. So I'm not surprised that they are going to use him. Don't let him get out of the building. So I'm not surprised that any of those guys that you named that probably staying put.
And lastly, for what wowed us this week, a little bit of news of the weird. So the Super Bowl streaker was a Las Vegas local who placed a $50,000 bet that there would be a streaker during the Super Bowl. So he ran out on the field by himself and cashed out with $374,000 on a $50,000 bet and ended up with a $1,000 fine, no jail time. Now, hear me out. I don't know if Vegas will ever put that back in prop bets again, but the fact that it's only a $1,000 fine, look, y'all gather the funds. I'll take one for the team. I'm just saying, like 374,000. Come on, man.
I'm mad he didn't put more. I'm mad he didn't put more.
Yeah,
right. If he knew he was gonna do it.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure what he has, but at that point, man, you go all in. Like you call everybody up. You take all the equity out your house. Hell, you might sell your house, sell your car.
Forget the equity, mortgage the house.
Just drop. Yeah, just drop everything. You know what I'm saying? Drop everything. Craig's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And run on the field and get that money.
I don't know if there's any kind of like rule or anything. Like if you like, I guess they can't. I guess there isn't a rule or a law against it because they say he cashed out. So I don't know if something like that will still be out there because somebody can kind of duplicate that same, activity. But
well,
I was just like,
it'd just be the odds would be lower now. That's all. So the bet would be there, but now it won't bring back the same odds.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money to
that floored me. Like that.
So you want to be able to control your own destiny, and that's exactly what
he did.
Yeah, for real.
That pretty much wraps up the news. Let's go ahead and hop into the main topic. So the NFL officially increased the cap by $30 million. That puts the 2024 salary cap at $255.4 million. The thing about that is, as high as that may seem, several teams are already behind the power curve as far as the cap is concerned. We'll start we'll go with the top 10, and we'll start with the worst one. Buffalo is currently at 41 million over the cap. So, humble opinion, look, that Super Bowl window has been sealed, shut, laminated, and gorilla glued. You got to get rid of $41 million worth of play. Well, we know players like Naeem Hines, he's only like $5 million against the cap. Your Von Millers of the world, those guys will be going, but they really didn't do much for you in the game this past year anyway. But for you to have to get under 41 million, and you're already now into the phase of the game where your quarterback is getting the biggest parts of the contract that he signed with as far as that extension is concerned. So I can see Buffalo having a very hard hill to climb and possibly being in a situation where they might not be able to, if you couldn't do it paying those guys, they were essentially in win now mode. I don't see how you get better getting rid of $41 million worth of players, if that makes sense. Which you guys got on Buffalo?
They better hope they hit on them draft picks because I know a lot of one, and I have to see how Josh Allen's contract is structured because a lot of times when you sign those long deals, you can convert some of it into like signing bonus or like guaranteed money to alleviate some of the cap right then. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's probably is trying to kind of construct it like that. That's why they do it when they have to pay the quarterback. But Von Miller definitely is out of here. Um, um, what's the other guy you just named?
Naeem Hines,
Yeah,
he really
99.
didn't even play all that much, but he'll free up like I want to say like 4.5 million, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And at the combine, the DB
Probably
coach,
did.
yeah, Diggs might be one that's gone. The
Yeah.
DB coach at the combine, at the not the combine, the draft thing that they were doing earlier this week was naming his DBs to going forward. He didn't name like Tre'Davious White, none of those guys. I'm not sure if it was due to like injury or not, but he may be a candidate to get cut. But 41 million under the cap, and you paid your quarterback. Like you said, I think that Super Bowl window is it's pretty much gone. Like so they may be in reset mode, so that's why they may give off Diggs. I know they Dawson Knox may be a cut candidate also too. I don't know what his salary is, but they like Kincaid, so he may be a person that's expendable.
Yeah,
But
true.
yeah, it's tough, and it's tough. It's gonna be tough for them, and I have no sympathy for it. I love it.
Barry, you got New Orleans. They're right in the same neck of the woods. They're 40 million, so about 1.5 million, give or take, less than Buffalo. But is this the year that we see Alvin Kamara ends up either? Well, I don't think he'll restructure. Is this the year that we end up seeing him move on?
Yeah, I think so. But firstly, Taysom Hill, that contract, the one got them, in the chokehold. You know what I mean? Sean Payton did some magic before he left. But I think the Taysom Hill contract, I think Kamara will be moving on at this point. I think, he's getting up in age for a running back. He
Right.
missed the first part of the season a little bit due to the suspension or whatever. But and I think they like Kendre Miller, the guy that they drafted last year. So I could definitely see him moving on. Michael Thomas, I'm not sure what his cap hit is, but he should be
Oh,
probably
he
going as
definitely
well.
gone. Yeah, he gotta go.
Um,
And they did
and maybe the
restructure.
veteran.
They restructured Carr's contract. I'm not 100% sure if this is the number before or after they restructured that. I'll do a little bit of research and make sure I get that out on the Facebook group. Make sure you guys are following the Facebook group. We get a lot of detailed information out there and the most up-to-date information, breaking news, all that kind of good stuff. The Gospel STP, same. The Gospel Sports Truth Facebook group. But I know his restructure freed up several mil, so they may have actually been the number one team if not for that restructure. So yeah, they got a lot more work to do. Either way you slice it though. Miami,
Yeah,
38 mil.
Probably
Go
even.
ahead.
No, I'm saying Jamal Williams. That was they see that didn't work out. He probably won't be there. And then also Cam Jordan contract got to be, he been there forever. So I know let's tell what his thing look like.
Yeah, I can definitely see them going the rookie route or even the undrafted rookie route as far as running backs are concerned, and then pairing them up with Kendre Miller, like you were saying, the guy that they drafted on last year. The Dolphins are 38.5 million over the salary cap. They just let go of Xavier Howard, and they also let go of, I want to say they let go of a linebacker or either a defensive lineman. I can't remember who it was, but it was one of their better players. Who was it, Ron?
I wasn't sure if it was Van Ginkel or Van Noy. I'm not Van Noy or Van Ginkel or the other. I want to say it was the guy Van Ginkel who was starting for them. I want to say they got rid of him.
But they're another team that was in that kind of a win now window, and that Tyreek Hill contract that seemed good at the time may end up hurting them in the long run. But they got quite a bit of money that they have to, or quite a bit of players to free up money that they're going to have to let go of. And I've even heard rumors about them getting other running backs Derrick Henry. I'm like, not when you 38 mil over the salary cap. He ain't about to take that kind of a short. So I don't know what they're going to do to make that up, but it seems like they're getting rid of some heavy duty players, if that makes sense. And they might not be in that victory window that they were in before. What you got on Miami, Ryan?
I think at the running back spot, I think they're secured there. Well, not necessarily say secured. I don't know why they want to bring in Derrick Henry. Like I believe any decent running back in like the Shanahan's or the McDaniel system, who pretty much had the same like type running system, I think you can find a serviceable running back there. Like they brought in Ramsey last year, knowing that the cap hit was going to be what it was going to be this year. So that was kind of, you know, trying to push all chips into the table, which I don't have a problem with that. If you think you have a chance, you go all out for it or whatever. But he, even though they just acquired him, he may be a person that may be a casual, maybe asking to leave if it's going to be in like a tear down mode. You know, he may just like living in Miami though. He's like, I got my ring already. I may like living in Miami or whatever. Cool.
And tax free, so I can take a cut and actually still get the same amount of money as the contract that somebody gave me if I was going to California, New York, you know, some of these different places.
And so I know they got one of their safeties. I don't know if it's Javon Holland or not. I can't remember exactly what his name is, but he's going to be in line for a payday like next year because he was like one of the highest rated safeties in the league, period, this year. So if you want to kind of get in front of things, like you couldn't win this year with everything that you had. So now you got rid of Xavier Howard. You're under the cap. And they're talking about paying Tua right now too also. So it's just, to me, it's like a mess. I think them in Buffalo
it's gonna be difficult to pay Tua when you're already that far over the cap. So that's gonna be interesting too. Yeah, I forgot all about it. Isn't that this coming season? This coming off season that they're gonna have to do that?
They can do it next off season too, but to me, it's better. I was always speaking about, and I know they're not in the topic. I feel like the Dolphins and the 49ers should pay the quarterback this year because you don't want to be in a situation to where they go do better, or say the 49ers, for example, win the Super Bowl next year, then you got to pay them. Like, I think you should go ahead and get them out of the way right now.
I would agree. However, with the players that the Dolphins are about to have to get rid of, I don't see him doing better this year than he did last year. So they can actually end up getting him for a discount based on where that team could possibly end up by the end of this year. So I hear exactly where you're coming from, but for that team in particular, they needed every player that they had and still didn't make it to the big game. So them losing.
If you're going to gauge it by that, yes. If you're going to gauge it by like where they make it in the playoffs, I agree. But if you're going to gauge it by his personal stats, I think with the defense, if you say let go to Xavier Howard, Ramsey, or whoever it is you got to let go to get under the cap, they're going to be in more throwing situations. Numbers maybe a little bit more inflated going next year. If you look at it, say, well, we had a terrible season, but the quarterback played well. Now he was like, nah, my numbers are comparable to such and such. Let me get this whatever. And if you go ahead and pay him now, you know, you may can get in front of it. It may kill you in this season or maybe next season, but if you're looking for long run and the long haul, I think they should. I'm like, it's a tough cap situation where you have to get rid of people. I think the Xavier Howard move was made to free up some bread for Tua, because I also read something that they are interested in getting the job done for Tua. So if that's what they want to do, I think they should do that first, and then whatever it takes to get rid of them, because I don't think they win the Super Bowl anyway. Take the hit, and then you're going to pay Jalen Waddle next year. Are you going to have two receivers? That's why the thing came up about him being traded this year. Because they was like, we already got Tyreek that's making a ton of money. Are you going to pay two receivers? And he's not, his potential and his production is going to warrant maybe not top tier number one receiver money, but you're going to have to pay him. You know,
I'd be willing to go ahead and move on from Tyreek after, when it's time to pay Waddle. I mean, Tyreek will be like 32. Like, if we haven't won anything with you by that point in time, like what are we doing?
I thought Tyreek said this is last year.
That's what he said, but I mean, Tyreek just found out that he got 7 kids, and one of them that he wasn't claiming is his. So I mean, that man about to be like Adrian Peterson. He gonna be playing as long as he can because he can't afford not to play.
No, but that's why.
That
That's
child
why.
support payment still gonna be there, even though
Oh,
you're not playing no more.
no. That's why you don't play, because now you can claim your income is this versus, because if he keep playing, he's going to claim income. But if he's not playing, he can say, I don't make nothing.
I mean, I hear you, but it ain't work out that way for Adrian Peterson because he's trying to find some income because of all the child support he got to pay. So, just saying.
All
But
right, but
Barry, you got go ahead.
every Adrian Peterson, there's a future.
You know, and you know they kind of did running backs a little dirty. He never saw the kind of he never saw Tyreek money. So maybe that's a little bit of a different scenario. But you got the Los Angeles Chargers who are 22 million above the cap, and they're looking at they may actually be able to fix their situation in one fell swoop because Khalil Mack's cap hit next year is 23.3 million. So just letting him go puts them where they need to be. So is that the move to make, or how do they end up fixing everything? Because they're still going to, I think they still need wide receivers and things of that nature as well. Maybe they go the rookie route for that, but just letting him go will get them where they need to be in the cap.
They don't need no wide receivers. They got one of the easiest cap fixes because they're going to just cut all the big guys. Bosa going to be moved.
I forgot about Bosa. Yeah, I forgot about Bosa.
Eckler not going to be there. And then Mike Williams, his ass ain't. So it's just they got an easy one. They just gonna cut all the big fat off, and then they'll be on the cap very easily. And wide receivers, these guys saying this is Jim Harbaugh. This is a dude that's gonna run the ball. You look at his history; he do not pass the ball; he runs the ball. So don't look for no whole slew of wide receivers to be flying in there. And you think Herbert gonna be throwing the ball around, because that's not gonna be the case.
And the offensive coordinator was asked, "What's the fix for Justin Herbert?" He said, "Run the ball." That's the fix. So
look here, you're not getting Greg Roman as your OC and telling me we about to sling this thing.
This is true. This is true. This is very much true. Ryan, you got Denver. Denver is 10 million over the cap, 10.7, so a little bit closer to 11 million. However, they're already talking about moving on from safety Justin Simmons, and his cap hit is 18.3. So another one of those situations where letting go of the one guy will actually put them from a negative all the way into the positive, just letting go of the one guy. But what do we see going on with Denver?
I definitely
not to mention Russ. I forgot about Russ. So
yeah, but see, even if they cut Russ, they still have an $80 million cap hit combined for the next 2 years. So it's going to be 40 this year and 40 next year. That's even if they cut him. That's why they're trying desperately to trade him, but nobody's going to trade for that.
Nobody about to trade for that contract. Yeah. Why would you?
Yeah, it don't make any sense. Like, you know, he's going to be available, and then he's not even worth 40 mil. Like, even if he goes to a system and plays well, you're like, no, he's not a 40 million a year quarterback. I don't think so. But yeah, Justin Simmons is a person that is ironic that now he's available for trade, because last year he was one of the don't touches, the do not touch, but Surtain was available, which really didn't make sense, even though Justin Simmons is a dog. Yeah. I love the way he played, but Surtain is the younger guy. So I don't see them tearing it all the way down with Sean Payton there. So getting rid of Russ, regardless, I think they're going to stomach that. We're going to take the hit. He's gone. I think Justin Simmons would be a casualty. I don't think they signed Tim Patrick back. So that I don't know how much money that frees up, but they're not going to sign him back. And those three moves kind of give you some cap space as of right now, but it still leaves you with minimal cap space. So they can solve it by cutting Justin Simmons and put them over, cutting Tim Patrick, putting him over, may restructure some guys. I don't know if, and I'm trying to think of big name guys that they have on their team to restructure, but I can't think of any of them. Like the running back position is young. They won't restructure that anyway, because that's not that much.
I think their O-line may have a little bit of money in it. I'm trying to think of who else is the big pay guy. I mean, the O-line got a little bit of money in it. The secondary has a little bit of money. They may end up having to let go of Simmons and figuring out what they're going to do with Surtain if they're trying to focus more on the offense than the defense, because you got an offensive head coach, so it may be one of those scenarios where he wants his toys on the offensive side, and then the defense will just kind of be, you know, it'll be what it is. But we'll have to figure out what the philosophy they're going to use going forward, because you're not going to get out from that Russell, which for me, that's why I didn't understand why you trying to burn that bridge right now, when for the next 2 years, even if you bring in a rookie, because you can't bring in two vets, you couldn't even bring in a vet if you got rid of Russ because of the money that you're still paying Russ. So why not allow him to still be the man while you develop that rookie, because you still got to pay him regardless. So it just seemed a little bit more personal to me than football related. As far as Denver is concerned, even if you aren't Sean Payton's guy. But we got the Cowboys up next. They are 8.1 million over the cap. Now, help me out with this one, Vander, because they're talking about paying Dak and making him one of the highest paid quarterbacks, which, okay, that's what you want to do. They're talking about paying what's your boy Parsons, Michael Parsons, making him the highest at his position. It feels like they're about to have to tear up that offensive line, which is kind of where they had a good bit of their success. And I just don't know. First, I don't trust Jerry Jones in that position anyway, to be the owner / GM. But what do you see them doing to keep Dak, which is what they're going to do, keep Parsons, which is what they're going to do, and still end up being below the cap, being as how they're already 8 million over?
Forget about
Well,
CD. Also.
Oh,
yeah,
CD, CD got to get paid. Yeah,
8 million is not a whole lot. You think about it.
it's
Especially with
not. But when you
restructures,
got
stuff
three
like that.
guys that's trying to be the highest at their position, that's what makes me kind of leery of how y'all gonna work this out.
Somebody gonna get left out. Michael Parsons has been talking kind of crazy as of late. Don't be surprised, man. He just seen his DC go to Washington, and don't be
Okay.
surprised if guys that, you know what I'm saying. But I could definitely see, and let's don't be this Trevon Diggs thing now. Don't think that he's locked in there, because he did have a nice serious injury. He got paid. So I wouldn't be surprised. Not saying he's gonna get cut and nothing like that, but
Oh,
I
Brandon
mean,
Cooks
they
can
just
be
had
cut. He got a nice little cap hit. I don't know exactly what it is, but he'll probably be cut.
Gallup. Gallup won't be there as well. I see him moving on, Michael Gallup. Maybe even the kid, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
There's another name you may want to, you know what I'm saying, because he got some money, and they probably could move on from him as well. So, and we already said Pollard, he's not coming back. So,
yeah, I believe he's a free agent if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they didn't take
Gilmore probably won't be there next year as well. He'll be gone.
Facts. Matter of fact, Gilmore by himself may actually relieve them of that 8 mil. I'm pretty sure he would. That contract would. Cleveland is up next. Now I've heard some rumors with Cleveland. Well, their cap hit right now, or their 6.2 million over the cap, which that's negligible in consideration of the things that can be done to kind of move money around and everything. But one of the things that I'm hearing is if Nick Chubb isn't willing to take a lower salary, they may go ahead and let Chubb go. Ford has been doing this thing, and running back is one of those positions where you can find bodies that are talented enough to do what needs to be done. But I feel like letting Nick Chubb go is going to be one of those culture hits for Cleveland. But he suffered a tremendous injury on last year, and the fact that he is one of the higher paid players, I mean, do you foresee them letting Chubb go, Ron?
I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go. Because of how they performed this year without him. He got hurt kind of early this year, so it's not like he got hurt like later in the year, and it was like, oh, we struggle. And if you banking on Deshaun Watson improving, because towards the end of this season he did start playing a little bit better. Not trying to say he may get back to the old Deshaun, but if you banking on him improving, seeing how you perform without, he may be a cut candidate. And everyone knows how I feel about running backs. I always want people to get paid, but it just get paid in the right situation. Like Ford did good. Kareem Hunt did nice. They may bring in somebody off the draft. I think a person like Derrick Henry, if he's not trying to break the bank, like a minimum, like a nice minimum contract, that may be a good place for him also. To a place where you don't have to pay him that much. So I can see Nick Chubb actually being released because of the position and how they performed without him being there. Like, of course, you're not going to replace Nick Chubb. He's one of the best running backs in the game when he's healthy.
Right.
But you can find production there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they cut him at all. Coming off
Three
of
more
injury
teams.
also, I wouldn't be surprised.
3 more teams to cover. We are past the negative, or the guys that are over the cap. Now we're looking at 3 teams that have the least amount of money to spend. San Fran is up with only 800,000 below the current cap. I've heard that Brandon Ayuk, who is up for contract, may end up being a casualty there. They may end up putting what's your boy? Is it Jawan Jennings, Vander? Your third wide receiver. I'm thinking that they're talking about right now making him that wide receiver 2, possibly hanging on to Debo, or maybe Debo ends up being the casualty and you keep Jawan and Ayuk. But they have the least amount of money to spend of the people that are slightly below the salary cap. What do you see your boys doing, Vander?
Well, I predicted a few years ago this be Debo last year. So I'm gonna stay
Okay.
with that. Being that, you know what I'm saying, he got paid already, and his injury history, you know what I'm saying, I think he'll be the guy that maybe should get let go. But we should be fine with a couple of restructures. That 800 will turn into something different. I mean, we probably won't bring back Chase Young. He probably be moved.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
veteran, the one guy I'm looking at, his cap number is getting up there. It's about close to 30 million. It's 20 in the high 20s. And that's Armstead. So he would be a guy as well that if they move on, they can create a lot more cap space just on that one move. So, you know, because Hargrave already got paid, Bosa already got paid, so they probably locked in. So I'm thinking Armstead would be a guy of that we probably gonna look at as far as moving him, Debo, everything else. Probably we're gonna be adding guys, so I don't think it'll be too many guys getting cut. It's gonna be guys getting added because we still haven't paid our quarterback, so we're able to add
Facts.
guys. It's different, you know what I'm saying? The guys that like the Bills, when you already paid your quarterback, you know what I'm saying, you can't add anything. But being that our quarterback don't even make $1 million, it's on to play with.
Barry not gonna agree with me with this, but Armstead is definitely the one to cut. But you know who else to get rid of to fix all this? Especially if Alvin Kamara become available. I really think paying Christian McCaffrey all that money at that spot.
I don't want to curse. I don't want to curse.
And listen,
I don't want to curse.
Just because this is why I say this, right? Not of his talent, but let's just take the Super Bowl, for example, right? If you have the best running back in football and you won't feed him like you're supposed to, like it's like why you got these soldiers and won't use them type thing.
But that's not on him.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. So now that the coach still gonna be there, so it's not an indictment of him at all. So if you're not gonna give him the ball in this position that you need him anyway, why pay him that type of amount of money? And going back to what the Dolphins thing was, in those systems, we've watched fullbacks run for 1,000 yards back in the day. You know, in the Shanahan, like we watch people come in there. Now, don't get me wrong, Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in football. We offensive player of the year, 20-something touchdowns. Like we know what it is. But I feel like if you could put Elijah Mitchell there, like say if like somebody like Alvin Kamara come in, like be honest, like honestly, I think if you guys average 28 points a game, just throwing it out, and I'm not trying to say that's what you average, but just say if you average 28 points a game, take Christian McCaffrey out and put Alvin Kamara, I don't see a huge drop off on him. Not because now you have enough money to pay everything else. Now you can maybe pay another corner. Now you maybe can put it on the offensive line. Like that is my opinion. I just like we said in the group chat. Tell me the last time a high price big name running back won a Super Bowl. And I get that the quarterback isn't making no money now, but you still that makes it even better. He's cheap, and now the team around him is much better. But that's just my thing. It's not gonna happen, but that is my fix for that.
We got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are 7.3 million under the cap.
He's trying to sabotage my damn team. That's all it is. he earlier he said, "Oh, they need to go ahead and pay." For now, to go ahead and pay Purdy right now. No, hell no.
Should.
And now you want us to cut McCaffrey.
Hey, but before we go to the Steelers, right? The Purdy thing, right? Say, for example, because y'all were close to winning the Super Bowl this year, like you say, you're going to add players. If y'all win the Super Bowl this year, which wouldn't be no far-fetched, y'all are favorite to win it. You know, and people can argue, maybe if you cover a punt, or maybe you win the Super Bowl this year. So, like, if he wins the Super Bowl, now he goes to the and he doesn't play bad. Now he goes to the front office like, well, you got to break the bank for me. Like you have to. So now when he got it, you paid your quarterback. Now you got Christian McCaffrey. You're not gonna have $100 million in the backfield. I'm sorry, you're just not gonna do that. I don't think you are. You're not gonna have him making 30, 40, and him 20 or whatever. You know, you're not gonna do that. I don't think so. So I think you're getting in front of what you're gonna do anyway when it's time to pay him. Which is my opinion.
No, you can't get in front of it because he can do that now. If we were to pay him now, he can go to that same sentiment you said. He can go to the front office with that same thing and say, "Look what I've done. Look what I've done. I went 2 straight years and I made it to 2 NFC championships. I got hurt in one. The other one I stayed up with the Super Bowl. And my numbers, I was an MVP candidate most of the part of the season. So if we pay him now, he's not. How much money you think he's gonna get? He gonna be getting up there in the 50s.
He's
not gonna get no $20 million.
I don't think so. Yeah, he's not gonna get that
Garoppolo money.
Because you know it's a dirty game when it's time to negotiate, right? So they can look at it and say, well, okay, you didn't win the Super Bowl this year. And also, like, even though we made it to the Super Bowl, like it was some throws and stuff that you didn't play your best ball until, like, of course, I'm gonna give him credit for coming back to win. But a lot of that stuff, the reason why y'all were down were because of him too. So right now you're in a place where
he didn't play bad in the Super Bowl. He didn't play bad in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Number two, you get paid off what you did. Dak is gonna get this $60 million on what he did in the regular season. Not what he did in the suit, not what he did in the playoffs, what he did in the regular season. This dude was an MVP candidate, top 5 in most passing statistics. He gonna get paid. He's not getting no Garoppolo contract. That boy gonna be up there top.
Because even the only thing with Dak, like even though Dak got blew out in like the first loss in the first playoff game he played, if you go to Mike Shanahan now and say no salary cap, who you want, Dak or Brock Purdy? Give me Dak because of what. Not trying to say, but he's not talented. It's just what we know what his potential gonna get paid off of. Like Brock Purdy kind of remind me a little bit of a 4-year basketball player going to the league versus a one and done going to the league. A one and done, we can mold him. He gonna grow a little bit more. He gonna do this. Brock Purdy, like you're not too far of where you are. You're not getting too much far, but you know how to manage what you're doing right now. So you can go in there and say you didn't play bad in the Super Bowl, but that's gonna be us. You didn't play well for us. You didn't play good enough for us to win the Super Bowl either, because we were inside the 10 at the end of overtime and in the fourth quarter, and we came away with 3 points. Like you can use I don't agree with him. Yeah, it wasn't on him though. No, like even when we talk, it was some throws that he missed in that Super Bowl that you can look at and say that's on you. I promise you, like not the ones that he wasn't not the one he was pressured. I could send you the throw the way Brandon Ayuk got
I
everybody.
was about to say he
the
missed
ball in the
Brandon
back of the
Ayuk
end
for
zone.
sure score.
Yeah, and like, but y'all would jump on Jimmy G and say, "Oh, you missed that," but nobody brings that up. Like I just said, he didn't play bad, but I think he didn't play well enough to a place where you can say, "Okay, we're not going to give you 50, we'll give you this, and you may get a bargain." I don't know. That is my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong, but they're not going to do it. So it's hypothetical anyway. They're not going to get rid of Christian McCaffrey anyway. But I'm just saying that's
and
how
they're
I
not
think
going to pay a
fix.
quarterback early anyway. So I mean, this is
The thing is this: if you pay him, the thing is this: if you do pay him now, the window closes. The Super Bowl window is
true.
open because of his contract. If you pay him, the window closed.
I kind of disagree.
Because you understand, we got the highest paid left tackle, we got the highest paid fullback, we got one of the highest paid middle linebackers, we got one of the highest paid tight ends, we got the highest paid running back. All these positions are the highest paid because the quarterback not making no money. If you pay him, all that comes down.
I think you can do without some of them though. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I think if you pay Purdy and get rid of Christian McCaffrey, the salary ain't as bad.
Who is this guy?
I'm no, and not Zay. You my witness now. I'd say this with every team. The running back is the place to where I think you can find value that way you don't have to tie that much money up. When we're talking about the Dolphins, like no, you don't have to tie that money up right there.
It depends on your offense. But I understand what you're saying. I agree with that because
I will say that the talent gap between CMC and Kamara in that system wouldn't be as wide as if it was CMC leaving the Panthers and the Panthers picking up Alvin Kamara. Like it's the system will kind of hide some of the warts. And when you're talking about a guy that can catch out of the backfield, a guy that can do a lot of different things, I can kind of see, that end of the spectrum. But again, you don't have to make that decision because you aren't going to pay the quarterback. And I think they're kind of willing to bite the bullet for whatever it is he's going to have to get paid when it comes that time. But also understand too, because he wasn't a first round pick, he don't have a 5-year contract. They're going to have to pay him soon regardless. He's not on that long of a contract because of being Mr. Irrelevant. I want to say he was on a 2-year contract, 3-year contract at the most by being drafted in the 7th round anyway. So his day is coming. We got Pittsburgh, who is at 7.3 mil. Say again?
No, so he probably gonna get some money though. I don't think they're gonna pay him another $1 million this year. They
give him a nice little bonus. They give him a little bonus.
Yeah.
So that way it don't hurt the cap. Yeah. I mean, that's normally how they get by that. But we'll kind of see how that works out. But they're gonna have to do something so he doesn't sour on the team. We'll figure out how that works out though. Pittsburgh, 7.3 million underneath the cap. So in Green Bay, 8.1 million underneath the cap. I can see Green Bay moving on from David Bakhtiari, the offensive tackle, often injured offensive tackle, and he's getting paid a pretty penny. As far as the Steelers are concerned, they really don't have a bunch of people that they can just move on from, that it makes sense to move on from. And the fact that they seldomly bring in big names in the offseason and they kind of build from the draft, I don't know that they're going to have to make too many moves. They can maybe let, I believe Patrick Peterson is still there at cornerback. I'm not exactly sure what his cap hit would be, but maybe they could do something like that. There may be a couple of elder statesmen on the O-line that need to be replaced anyway. But outside of that, I don't really see too many avenues to save money. I think they already picked up, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they picked up Najee Harris' 5th-year option already. So he's going to be there. Warren ain't getting paid that much. They have some younger guys at the receiver position. I don't know if maybe Deontay Johnson, who they did pay, maybe they free up some money, going elsewhere with that. But I do know that they're looking at making some changes at the quarterback position, which may require them freeing up some money. Green Bay is in a nice spot to whereas most of their guys are younger anyway, and just removing David Bakhtiari is going to put them right where they need to be to continue to build. Those are the two teams per the stats that are best at building through the draft anyway. So I can see them continuing to do that. What you guys got on the Steelers and Green Bay to wrap it up?
Guess who Green Bay need to get rid of?
Who that?
Aaron Jones. He just got
Oh
paid.
yeah, okay,
He just got
okay,
paid. He
okay.
just got paid. I know AJ Dillon's going. I don't know if he's going to be there. I don't think they're satisfied with him when Aaron Jones
He a
was hurt.
free agent. I don't see them bringing him back.
Yeah, but see, Aaron Jones, I can't remember what it. I know he didn't get paid like super top running back money, but he got paid. If that's a cap hit there, get rid of him. They got a nice young wide receiver core that you don't have to pay for a while. They got like 4 guys who they not probably gonna have to pay for a while. Jai Alexander may be, but his off injury history, he may be cut. So Bakhtiari, they already pretty much set in stone. Pretty much, he's not going to be back. So Bakhtiari probably not going to be there. Jai Alexander, like I said, like Barry mentioned earlier, for another team, cut the big name fat, work everything else. I think Jordan Love is a stud. You don't have to do anything to the receivers. You drafted 2 rookie tight ends, build O-line through the draft. Put it on defense, but I think those are the 3 people that if you really want to shake and move, and like Aaron Jones is still young enough to make a mark someplace where somebody may trade for him or cut him or whatever. But I think Aaron Jones, you cut that, you cut Bakhtiari, you cut Jair Alexander, and I think you right back where you need to be. That's why I think so. Have a lot of.
I don't even think you got to cut all those guys because they build through the draft. And they're not trying to go out in free agency to bring anybody in who require all those salaries. So as long as you can pay your rookies, I think they'll pretty much be straight. They may have to fill in somewhere, but that Aaron Jones call is a good one. And Bakhtiari, just those 2 players alone, if they want to hang on to their cornerback, Zaire Alexander, if they want to hang on to him, just those 2 cuts are going to put them in a good spot. So what you got to wrap us up, man?
And before we do that, to everybody
ahead,
watching this show who's a running back, I don't hate y'all. I really want y'all to get paid. It's just like the way of people building teams. If your goal is to win the Super Bowl, it's not tying it up in your running back. That's it. I love all running back. Shout out to LT, man.
Go
ahead and wrap us up for it, man.
The guys who on the Packers, or who was the last team you talking about?
Packers and Steelers.
Oh, Steelers. Well, as far as the Packers go, I mean, everybody he mentioned, those are the guys that's going to be going anyway. Bakhtiari's gone. Alexander's already out of there already, and I think both of those running backs need to go. AJ Dillon and
Dillon is a free agent, so I don't think they're going to even talk to him this offseason.
Yeah, both of those guys should be out of the door. So I think with that left, they should be fine. As far as the Steelers go, the Steelers just be bringing in people. They bring in a lot of like minimum kind of guys. Guys that probably got like a little something left in the tank. They bought in like they used to play for the Jaguars. They bought in
Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, remember? No,
Minka?
linebacker.
No, you talking about I can see his face. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They tend to do that every year. They bring in a guy like that. But I mean, a guy like Casey Hayward, who's been there for a minute.
Yeah.
His number got to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? He's been there for a minute. I know he's one of those anchors in the locker room, you know what I mean, probably too. So I could see him probably moving out. Pat Peterson definitely need to go. He need to go home.
Facts. Miles Jack, that's who you talking about.
Yeah, there you go, Miles Jack. Allen Robinson, they're gonna get some money for him. He was brought in to do what? So I think his number something like 6 to 8 million in that range. If I could say about getting rid of him, but I think this is the time that you make that move. Yeah, but I think this is the time they make the move, the Steeler move, where the guy that you think who's going to be the next to carry the baton, it's time for him to jump to the top. I think it's time for Deontay to go. Go ahead, let Pickens come in, let him take a role. And the guy that you drafted in the same draft, I believe, as Pickens is Kevin Austin. Go ahead and bring Kevin Austin up and bring him up and get him moving and grooving too. So I think it's time for that baton to be passed. We've seen it with AB, Mike Wallace, you name it. You know what I'm saying?
Santonio
Santonio
Holmes
Holmes.
is what they do.
I'm saying,
You can go all the back to
so
Hines Ward. Is what they do.
yeah, I think this is the year. You know what I'm saying? I think it's time for Deontay to go ahead and go, even though he's not that old. But I think it's time for him to go and feature Pickens. I think he need to be featured.
Yeah, I agree.
He's already been upset about not getting the ball, and then when he does get the ball, he's making things happen. So it's time. I think it's time.
And that will about wrap it up for us this week. Make sure you join us on next week. And remember, tell the truth.